our main job with the rogue was to not mess it up.
Yeah.
Because it
was very sound.
It is such a beloved, solid class that our main goal with the rogue was to take those really wonderful pieces of design and add some new twists. And so in addition to giving the rogue weapon mastery, as we have several of our other classes, and weapon mastery, as you and I've discussed in another video, gives the rogue and others some really exciting combo options and tactical abilities.
As we discussed, like short sword, with the knife, you're like hitting, gaining advantage on the next attack, lining up your sneak attack, stuff like that.
Glorious.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, the other biggie in the rogue is a brand new feature called Cunning Strike.
Yeah.
This ended up being a hit in the Unearthed Arcana series. And what Cunning Strike really boils down to is it gives the rogue the ability, starting at 5th level, to trade sneak attack damage dice for other effects.
Yeah.
Because we realized the sneak attack bucket of dice, it gets awfully big.
Yes.
And sometimes the rogue doesn't need all of those dice just to deal damage. So the light bulb that went off for us in our design process with the rogue was, well, what if we let the rogue do other things with those dice? Because my goodness, are there a lot of them. And so Cunning Strike was then born. Cunning Strike really is an answer to what if the rogue could do other things with those dice. And so at the start, what the rogue can do is can trade sneak attack dice to do things like poison their target, trip their target, withdraw from melee without provoking opportunity attacks, that sort of thing. Then at higher level, you get even more options, and then you also gain the ability to pile on multiple options to the same sneak attack. And so it is all about giving the rogue ways to do more than just bucket loads of damage, without taking away the ability to do bucket loads of damage. Because sometimes the rogue will still want to just take all their sneak attack dice and apply all of it to damage. But in those cases where it would be more helpful for you to poison the target, knock them down, withdraw, or knock them out harmlessly, because at higher level the rogue also has even the option to just knock them out and not deal enough damage to actually slay them.
Yeah, you don't need to assassinate every NPC you meet.
Exactly. In addition to adding Cunning Strike to the rogue's kit, we've also enhanced other features that were there. We took Reliable Talent and moved it to a lower level. We made it so that Thieves' Cant now gives you an additional language in addition to allowing you to use Thieves' Cant. And we've also, at level 3, added a brand new feature called Steady Aim. This debuted in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. It's now graduated to the core books. And this allows the rogue to be steady and give themselves advantage on their next attack roll. A fact, let's put a pin in that, a fact we will return to when we get to the assassin.
Yes.
And the assassin is especially glad that Steady Aim is now in the book. We also even enhanced Slippery Mind at higher level, which used to just give you proficiency in wisdom saves. It now gives you proficiency in both wisdom and charisma saves. And the reason why that's relevant is it means now rogues will be harder to banish since most spells and other effects that forcefully teleport people away or banish them involve charisma saving throws.
Oh, interesting.
And we wanted rogues to have all around slippery minds and to really lean into the theme that not only are rogues really good at stealth, devastating single strikes with sneak attack, but they're also good at wiggling out of danger.
Yeah.
And a number of the rogue's abilities are all about wiggling out of either physical danger or mental or magical danger. And all of that together really, I think, achieves that goal that we had of take this rogue that's beloved, that's working really well, and just crank up the volume a little bit.
I love having extra things to do with sneak attack. I love turning that into a resource. We've seen that kind of design element with a couple of things in this new player's handbook, but that is something I adore because you always wanted to have the ability to potentially poison a target, right? Or to knock out a target. Even in the video games I grew up playing, like Thief and Dishonored, like that's all very iconic for a rogue to be able to do. So that's super exciting.
Yeah, and again, just as with weapon mastery, it is something that we have loved playing with in our playtest games.
And again, you have weapon mastery to play with too now
Yes.
as a rogue.
A rogue does not have as many masteries to play with as, say, the fighter, but still enough for it to make a difference.
Yeah.
And it gives the rogue some really interesting tactical mini games when, especially once Cunning Strike is in the mix,
Yeah.
to figure out each turn. It's like, okay, what am I going to do with my weapon? What am I going to do with my sneak attack? A lot of fun. Then contributing to the rogue's enhanced profile
Yeah.
are the 4 subclasses. Now, the rogue has its 2 classic subclasses, the assassin and the thief, and those are 2 archetypes in the rogue that go all the way back to 1st edition D&D. And it's all about, really, do you want to emphasize the killing part of the rogue's identity, or do you want to emphasize the infiltrator and treasure hunter side of the rogue's identity?
Right.
With the thief representing infiltration and treasure hunting. And then the other 2 subclasses that are available, just as in the fighter, we have the Eldritch Knight and the Psy Warrior, taking the baseline class and mixing it with stuff outside the class. We have the same thing with the Arcane Trickster and the Soul Knife in the Rogue, where you can take the baseline Rogue and mix it either with spellcasting in the Arcane Trickster or mix it with psionic power in the Soul Knife.
The new player's handbook is available for pre-order right now on D&D Beyond. You can find that link in the video description. And you can also find the new Core Rulebooks bundle for pre-order, both physical and digital. Thank you so much for watching. We have a ton of video content coming out about the new player's handbook and all the new Core Rulebooks, the new Monster Manual, the new Dungeon Master's Guide. So be sure to check out all of that content. And thank you for watching.